So, where are we placing this man? Thank you to our $5 patron, Sin is Lancelot, and a very big thank you to our $25 patron, the Mr. Greed. Before we jump into this breakdown / discussion on where Lancelot places within the 7 deadly sins world, please do me a favor, leave your own placement form in the comment section down below, leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, make sure that little notification bell so you don't miss out on any videos that come with the channel. Also, I do have a Patreon down below, and I'd appreciate any support you're willing to give. Now, let's get into it. What's up, guys? I got a pencil here, and yeah, I don't know, like yesterday's video started just a whole ton of discussion, and I really like discussion, so considering that this is a rather contentious topic, obviously, thanks to what the narrative told us, where's Lancelot? And by that, where is he in terms of, like, scaling, or his ranking within the verse? Like, whatever, narratively, actual feat, like, stuff like that. Now, here's the thing, right? Lancelot, he's not featless, because he destroyed some chaotic dead, and he did just absolutely murder Fittich. So those are two very concrete feats. Like, they happened, we were there, we witnessed them. But now the question becomes, like, what does that mean? At least in terms of his skill. I know Nakaba supposedly said, now notably, I haven't seen him, but I trust y'all. Multiple people was in the comment section that Nakaba apparently said that Lancelot and Tristan were like hard removed from, like, Tristan wasn't the MC because he was too broken round start. That's what I'm assuming. Lancelot got his own one shot and Tristan got his own movie. Because like they're out there. They're those dudes. So I expected them to be strong, right? But how strong, though? Because while they both would have well, no, we're talking about Lancelot. We'll talk about the potential of both of them and their power and stuff like that in another video. But in terms of just, like, raw stats, where are we putting them? Because the thing is, right, we have a quantification, supposedly, for this power level that Lance should be at. And it is 7 deadly sins level. Now, notably, we don't exactly know what that means. Now here's the thing, right? I think the safest bet to go to for 7 deadly sins level, in terms of what Mortlock was talking about, is probably mid-series. But that's kind of crazy, right? Because at 16, I can't think of any sin at 16 that would have been as strong as the mid-series sins. Like, well, to be fair, we don't know what Melly was like growing up as a teen. So he may be different. But we know, actually, King was born strong too. But he wasn't mid-series. Like, that's the thing. Like, in terms of raw power for 16, it's kind of insane where Lancelot is, or where he prospectively should be. If he's as strong as end of series sins, which, you know, let it rock, it could be possible. Maybe Nakaba really just said, yeah, you know what? And about every other sequel series, they power creep the young cast so much. Might as well power creep the end of series sins. That's kind of insane, but not exactly too improbable because of his training, right? Because 6 years is a long time, especially 6 years in Chaos Land, where you can apparently learn light powers even though you're a human fairy. So I wouldn't be shocked. Like, that's a weird thing, right? Because in my heart of hearts, I'd want to place him around, like, early beginning of series sins level. Like, literally, probably Berserk Meliodas and Truth. Well, I was struggling. I was about to say Full Wings. I was like, wait a minute, that is not beginning of series. But, like, Berserk Meliodas, I'm going to say pre-Lost Vein, and True Spirit King, like around those levels of strength, like I'm confident if you threw this Lancelot up against an Albion, it'd be fine. You want to know why? It's because it's that perfect tier of broken, right? Like, it's above a majority of our beginning of series sins in their base states. Like, it's above Meliodas, above King, above Merlin, above all that in terms of just raw power. But it's like pre-Escanor, pre-post resurrection, not post. I always get post-resurrection, post-druid mixed up. Because, like, to be fair, post-druid is around for such a short period, regardless. Post-druid Meliodas, like, beneath or relative to, like, post-training Diane. Like, stuff like that. Like, around that level of strength. Because around that level of strength, it would make sense that he can bully someone like Fittich, who's Holy Knight level. And we're going to take Fittich's hype at face value and just say that, hey, where the problem at? He's about, like, high Holy Knight level, like high Leonis Diamond Rank Knight, like late. See, that's because Fittich is hyped as the leader of an elite assassination squad, so they should be swole. So reasonably putting them at, like, end of, well, maybe not end of because there was a time skip, but like pre-time skip, end of series 7 Deadly Sins Holy Knight level, like your Dreyfus level, your Gale Thunder level, your Hauser level, stuff like that. I'd be fine with that, mainly because it keeps Lancelot broken for the relative narrative that we're in. Like, in the case of, like, your most Holy Knights, maybe your Ironsides, maybe. But even then, the weird thing is, right, it's possible because Sin just didn't want to reveal himself there. But considering Ironside's a threat, if he was stronger than Ironside, why wouldn't he just body him? Like right then and there. Because here's the thing. Sin, I'm trying to think of all the Holy Knights we've run into. Talisker got bodied. We're not sure if that man's dead. I'm assuming he's dead. Like, he got blasted away with the mountain. That man has to be dead. So I'm going to say Talisker's dead. Ardbeg is dead by his own men. We know that Lancelot just killed the entire Dark Talismans. Who else have we run into? Ironside escaped. That's the thing. That's a weird thing. Like, Ironside was the only one. And notably, that's a weird thing, too, because Sin didn't even try to run it, right? Like, even with the Dark Talismans, Sin was confident enough in the base abilities of our squad before revealing himself that, hey, as long as I guide these kids, they'll be viable enough to take him on. But with Ironside being there, and him not being the most willing to fight Ironside at this point, what does that mean? Like what are we doing here? Does that mean he's weaker than Ironside? But narratively, if Ironside is afraid of Sin, but see, that's the thing. If Ironside is afraid of Sin's level to the point where when he's not at full power, or just in general, like Mortlock just says, we gotta go. Who knows? He may not even know that Ironside's poisoned and debuffed. But regardless, Mortlock looks at the situation that Ironside was in that specific area, and then runs some calculations in his head and says, Sin level is a bit too much for us. We need to go. But what is Sin level, and why wouldn't Sin, as in Lancelot, not just kill both of them? Because I get Lancelot. See, that's the whole thing. Like, we have to have a whole discussion about Lancelot, because why was he hiding himself? Because notably, I've heard some things like, oh, he was hiding himself so he wouldn't get known. But as Lancelot very clearly notes here, the reason he's not known in the first place is because he kills everybody he runs into. So I'm assuming the only reason Lancelot wouldn't reveal himself around an Ironside is when A, he believed he couldn't handle it, and or B, he believed that the kids could handle it. But the thing is, he doesn't believe the kids could handle it. Like, he just tells them, don't even fight Ironside, go for the coffin. But see, that's the weird thing, because I can't say that the two statements are very disjointed. Like, and would Ironside be, because like the second best medium, right, to fit Lancelot within that sins tier. Because another thing is, what sins are we talking about? What sins does Mortlock know about? Because I feel like True Magic, Final Shine, heck, even Post Purgatory Core Truce, like, they weren't necessarily around. Like, Arthur was dead. I mean, but he saw them. Like, the thing is, does Mortlock, and by proxy all the knights, know how strong a sin is simply because, like, of their reputation? Because notably, their reputation is for the reputation of 10 years past. That's not for their end of series selves. Like, sure, they're known as the heroes that defeated the Demon King, but they don't, like, their specific level of power wasn't ever really tested in enough of a public area that rumors could spread, or at least accurate rumors. But the thing is, Arthur was there, EOS, but he was working with fatigue sins. So does he know their true strength? Because hypothetically, for Arthur to just inform his knights of sin level and, like, get them thinking and running the calcs on their own power relative to the sins and why they shouldn't want to run into them, he literally could have been like, I know exactly how strong all these people are because I was there and I sensed their max strength. Here you go. And then he just, like, leveled his power to a sin's level, right? Because we know that you can suppress your magic within 7 deadly sins, and obviously Arthur, reasonably with chaos, should be able to replicate any of the 7 deadly sins, not if just their powers, but also their power level, or like their in terms of their stats. So it's entirely possible that Mortlock could be referring to EOS sins, but see, that's the thing, it's not necessarily a problem if Mortlock is referring to EOS sins, and Lance is EOS sin level. Technically, it makes perfect sense in the narrative. He has insane potential. He has insane narrative backing. He's obviously one of the four knights of the apocalypse. Like there's so much narrative backing to him being that strong. But, like, the power scaler in me doesn't want that. Because does that mean Lance bullies the Demon King? Like, is this a thing? Like, does Lance just solo the Archangels already? 49 chapters in? Is this what we're rocking with? I don't think I have a choice to rock with anything else, because, but then again, it's like Escanor's there, but EOS, see, that's the thing, EOS pre and post Escanor is such a small time frame, and we don't know if this is an accurate picture of what Mortlock is picturing in his own head, right? Like, we know the reason that Nakaba showed us those sins in those, the reason we could see those sins in those specific outfits is because markability wise, this is a weird tangent to make, but markability wise, those are their most recognizable outfits for us. Brilliancy is the one outfit, most recognizable thing, it's on all the merch. Meliodas' original outfit, most recognizable thing, it's on all the merch, and it's what he wore most often throughout the entire series. Bond in that outfit, Gother in that outfit, like, these are some of their most iconic fits. Like, the only person who seems to be in a less iconic fit would be Escanor, but then again, I really like the lion kind of build fit where he has like the mane around his neck. Like, that's cool to me. But the thing is, King with his wings out implies mid-series. Cause like, it's so weird. It's so weird because like there are multiple places you can put Lance, right? You could either, if you're talking about beginning of series sense, even though King's portrayed there with his little miniature wings, then that would make sense with his fight with Fittich, right? Because to be fair, the Sins, even beginning of series, like pre any of their training, pre Meliodas' power restored, they were just clearly implied / stated / shown, all of this, just to be above like pretty much every other knight. The only time you could ever like beat a Sin if you were a Holy Knights here, you had to jump them or get them in unfair situations where they were forced to protect the people or not allowed to go all out. Like, that is the only way you could beat a beginning of series Sin. So if he's that level, and of course the Holy Knights of Arthur are around the same human Holy Knight level, bada bing, bada boom, makes perfect sense. However, with the wings being there for King, and obviously Escanor being there, especially in the outfit he's presented in, mid-series also makes sense. Because you could easily go with the idea that, hey, mid-series, you could have Fittich still be like around that same level. Lancelot is just casually just like bullying him, moving around casually. So Lance could be around that level, maybe around the level of his uncle when he got his little miniature wings out, and that would make perfect sense too, because that's still Sin. It meets all the qualifications we're given. It is Sin level. It would beat Fittich's Holy Knight level, and it is powerful enough to make Ironside run away if Ironside's not Sin level. And the same thing with EOS Sins. Sure, I don't think any of their appearances match up. Like, other than the fact that you could argue that this is Assault Force Escanor, and let's say Assault Force Escanor would be a stand-in for like EOS Escanor, Final Shine. But now, I'm not sure what Nakaba said. I know Nakaba's apparently said some stuff about how strong they are. I don't really know. I just know that he supposedly said they're most OP. I haven't seen any scans. I haven't done any of that. I definitely should have before I made this video, but whatever. But I feel like EOS is the most stretch out of them all. Like, not gonna lie, end of series is the most stretch. Because I don't think Nakaba would feasibly do that. Especially for like the kind of narrative he's trying to tell. In fact, I don't think introducing Lance and making him this strong round start is like conducive to the kind of narrative that Nakaba is working with, but I think that's on purpose. I think Nakaba is actually trying to just like flip the script on us, just to like, you know, break our ankles and catch us lacking here by introducing such a strong character, kind of like we're back in original Seven Deadly Sins. But then the question becomes like, where does he go? And sure, we could definitely get more answers later on in the future. We could definitely find out that he's, I don't want to call him, like, at least I just want to know where he goes. If you will personally ask me, I'd say my personal take would he'd be like above or relative to True Spirit form, True Spirit Chastity Full pre-training King, and probably a relative to, if not above, Berserk Meliodas in terms of just raw power, raw stats. However, if you want to like give him what I feel like is more realistic, a realistic Heimball essentially, then you go with the idea that, oh, he's mid-series level because, you know, outfits and stuff like that, miniature wings, and that seems to fit, like, all of that still fits narratively just fine. EOS though, or especially post time skip, I'm iffy. I'm very, very iffy on those, but do you, right? Like, I won't stop, especially considering, who knows, next chapter could pop out and just, chapter 50 could be like, oh, by the way, I'm actually I'm that dude, but I'm not like stronger than my dad or anything like that. Like, my dad Bond, he's still stronger than me, or something like that. We could easily get a statement like that next chapter that could just make this entire video pointless. But right now, while we're in this weird nebulous point where Lance is just going nuts, I just want to get a video out talking about it. So those are my thoughts. I'd say those are my like 3 points to place him that doesn't contradict any of the narrative we've seen so far. Now, then the next question becomes, how strong are Ironside and Pelgard? Because Pelgard is portrayed narratively above Ironside because Ironside swings on him with a blade and Pelgard just casually raises his armor. But regardless, those are different videos for a different time. Lancelot, where do you place him? Why do you place them? How do you place them? Stuff like that. Please tell me that in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And on top of that, I do want you to hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also, do the Patreon down below, and I appreciate any support you're willing to give. Thank you guys so much for watching once again, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is that guy with the pencil, writing off.